Well, good morning, Facebook. Good morning, YouTubers. I want to say thank you for following me on those 8 days of rain. I tell you, it was something else. But let's jump right into why I'm here for this breakfast session. I want you to make sure you do me a favor. I want you to share these breakfast sessions after I came out of my 8 day time with the Lord, the first 8 days of this month, which I'll probably more than likely be doing frequently until Abba says stop. But I want you to make sure that those that get to see this on the YouTube as well as Facebook, that you share it. As one of the things that we're way late in doing, and that is sharing information to prepare the body to fight. And so, anyway, as you can see in my topic there, I'm talking about the parachurch. Many of you feel that, you're in a church, God has called you to ministry, to do great work, and you may be in the evangelical, you may be prophetic, you may be an apostle, but yet you feel that you are not really planted, within a body. So we're going to talk about that later on. And for those who have taken my parachurch classes in time past, then you would know what I'm talking about. But those who never have, I want you to be sure and start to follow me. So please go to YouTube and click the bell so that you would know when I am on live to talk about these. And guess what? Always give me instructions. So prayerfully, that can be a very obedient move for this time, that I will make sure that I go in and give you these sessions on Thursdays. This is my goal, to do them on Thursday mornings. I'm hoping my timeline can be about between 6 a.m. and this time right now, 8 o'clock a.m. Okay, so I'm going to get a time down soon, but I want to make sure that it does not, come in and cause, problems with other ministry work that I have to do. So right now, I believe if he's called, it's going to work. Amen. So I want to talk to you about the parachurch and how important it is you get an opportunity to think about where you are now. Okay. What am I called to do? I know when I was doing my ministry and started my church, and for those who don't know, I have a church. My church is very huge, and I hope yours is too. Many of you who are social network savvies, you have a large church too. But this is where we have missed it at. It's beyond this social network. It's beyond the four walls of the church. Our Carriage Church is in many facets. Those who are leaders, who are trying to get a real grip on where you are as far as being planted. Sure, we're supposed to be planted in a church, meaning a fellowship with those who God has called us to lead us and make sure that we sit under authority while we are in authority. But God has also equipped some of you to be a parachurch. You're not called to build a four wall per se ministry. Many of you, God has called you to be a parachurch, to go beyond the four walls and do a lot of social action type of ministry. And this is what my church is. It's socially active. We consider ourselves as an apostolic center where we do a lot of parachurch ministry, which means we come alongside churches to build up those leaders, to raise up those to become great discipleship, how they say, planters in different areas, so that you can go and plant discipleship ministries and, in different places like prisons, uh, apartment complexes, anywhere where that you may not find the norm, such as in nursing homes. Our responsibility is to go in the hedges and the highways as a parachurch to do what I am talking about here on this message, and that is a supernatural. People are way late in moving in what the blood bought gift from God that gave us the opportunity to work in all supernatural powers and authority. Luke 10 and 19 tells us that he's not giving us some, but he's giving us all power and authority to cast out demons, to lay hands on the sick, and we must do the supernatural for times as this. We must be able to move and bring glory to God in this last day. Now, before I begin and get into this little short lesson, I want to give you something for you to think about today on Thursday. I want to call it my Think of Again Thursday message, okay? So one of the things I think one of the greatest warfare that we all run into is that we talk too much, okay? Talk too much, and some of the things we're talking about, Daddy God ain't telling you to talk about, and some of the things that you have been saying out of your own mouth, and what I call them conversational crucifixions, where many of us have talked too much and said something out of anger, out of frustration. So we need to think about this particular message today about knowledge and about what we're thinking or what we're saying before we say it. And so here is the message today. It says, verbal restraint is fast becoming and forgotten virtue. Yes, it is. It's a fast becoming and forgotten virtue. It says, thanks to tell all tales and hide nothing television talk shows, we have nothing restrained. We don't have nothing restrained. Everybody wants to show everything, everybody wants to say everything. When was the last time anyone in the media blushed? Nobody, because everybody want to show all of their skin. Everybody want to be their prideful, not only in social network and sitcoms, but we create our own sitcoms and create our own social networks. Even now, someone may think this is a joke and laughing at me. But we are in a time right now that we say many times, even what we see before Daddy God has given you permission to say anything. And this is why we have a lot of people who say that they are prophets when they are profits, and those who say they're apostles are apostates. And that is a great blend for the two that's causing the church to get emptied out or sheep to be scattered. Then it goes on to say, when was the last time anyone that is, yet restraint and control always work in our favor? Yes, it does. That means you're not letting the devil know what you're doing. Many of us tell the devil everything, tell everybody all our business, where we're located, what we're doing, how we're partying, our new car, we're going out of town, and they know where you live, and you wonder why your house broke in when you get back. You know, you want to share everything about where you are located and what you are doing. And many of you have set your own mouth up to share information with the devil or share information publicly with people you don't even know. You talk too much. That's the bottom line. You talk too much. You want to let the devil know everything you're doing. It goes on to say, learn to keep confidence, especially the confidence of your family, especially the confidence of your personal business, your marriage. I never in my life seen women tell everything about their marriage, what happened in the bedroom the night before, you know, tell everything about what they feel about the pastor, the first lady, talk about everybody. No constraint, none. Just constantly crucifying people and your own self. Goes on to say, talks about your friends, and it said, now come to be known for keeping secrets. Now, keeping secrets is not on the level of keeping secrets to be, how they say, I'm not going to tell that I was abused. I'm not going to tell, you know, what my daddy did to me or what they're doing to me still. You know, you're not going to tell. Now, we're now, right now, you better open your mouth and tell somebody that, and you better tell the right people the right time, okay? But where we are at, we got to keep our mouths shut. That means be secret about the warfare. Sunday, I want to preach. Be secret about what you're about to do with the devil, or that is to the devil. Never let the devil know which way you're headed and what you're about to do. That's called strategy in kingdom warfare. We'll get into that a little bit later on. And so be known to keep that kind of secret. We're talking about supernatural secrets from the devil. They're not gonna wonder what hit them. They're gonna see, because we operate in manifested glory. Amen. That Daddy God let the devil know, I have arrived through this one. I am on the scene right now, and I'm fixing to show you a thing or two through my chosen vessel. Okay, it's part of having character marked by strength and dignity. That's what the supernatural is going to do for you today. When you walk in a room, you should be walking in not with pride, but humility. You should be walking in with glory. You should be walking in with authority. Because why? The devil knows there's something about that man. It's something about that woman. It's something about them that I better watch. Guess what? Even the devil knows how to watch. That you yourself better mark your atmosphere. You yourself better be able to discern the times in the spirit, that you will be able to see what's operating in every zone that you go into. It's just something when we talk too much, we cannot even analyze what the devil is doing because we're too busy let the devil know what we're doing. We cannot discern what it's doing. Okay? It's up so close you can't see the forest for the trees. You got to make sure you be quiet, watch, mark, pray, and you better act in the name of Jesus. So here's the word for today. It comes from Proverbs 10 and 14. It says, wise men store up knowledge, but with the mouth of the foolish, what? Ruin is at hand. Yes, it is. You're about to ruin everything. You're about to destroy everything in your own house. Now, let's talk now quickly about what I said earlier on about glory and the supernatural. These classrooms will be short, but I pray that they be very impactful, that you be able to use them for what God has taken you. And most importantly, that you'll be able to start to exercise your gift in the supernatural. Now, I want to look at my notes here a little bit. I want to share some of the things that I've got here in regards to the supernatural and the glory of God. The supernatural and the glory, God reveals himself, okay? That means the manifested glory through God. We're not talking about, well, you see this big light all over us. But what we are talking about is that the glory of God is resting on your life and that the supernatural moves through you because as a parachurch leader, you are transformational. You are making impact. You're not just there with a title. You are making impact. Amen. And so one of the things that we need to look at how this word supernatural is defined. So I'm going to start out first of all, it's not this natural world manifested thing that we see that we already know what's about to happen. No, supernatural relates to the issue that's explained in kingdom laws. It's not in natural laws, it's in kingdom laws of the supernatural, things that happen that we know that nobody could have done or no manifestation could have happened unless it was the glory of God. And most important, we need to remember, he gets all the glory, okay? So as we're looking at glory, we want to be reminded that Jesus Christ, our daddy, our Lord, who is manifesting these through us, gets all the glory. And then the second thing we need to make sure we understand about the supernatural that is described is relating or attribute to deity. Okay, it's relating or attributed to deity. That means the reigning glory of God, REIGN. We've been talking about that in the last 8 days. The reigning glory of God means that the reigning glory shows the apostolic, the prophetic anointing, that power of all fivefold gifts that rest mighty in us and through us. Why? Because we're flowing through them, though you've been appointed this one particular gift. Many of us may be flowing as an evangelist, as a prophet, as a teacher, what have you. In the time that daddy wants to use you, he will take a special measure of grace that he has graced you through, maybe as a teacher or an apostle, and he will use that gift, even as a prophet, to get you to break something, to get you to manifest something for his glory in atmospheres that are dry, in atmospheres that need supernatural manifested glory, that they can see that daddy is there. His presence is not only with them, it has now manifested in the atmosphere through you. Yes, through you. And then it is something relating to, and not how they say, to what you will see what people will call a miracle. These are things that it is not. It is not magical. It is not mystical. Though it may appear to be that way, but it is not. It is supernatural, which means that these first meaning declares that I've talked to you about, declares some of the things that Daddy God does. It's not for us to even look for it to be something uniform. I want to make sure I make my declaration here, and so that I can give my reservation for you to know that I don't come with these classrooms appearing that I know everything, appearing that I have the cookie cutter teaching class for you. The one thing I come with the measure of wisdom. I come with the measure of revelation knowledge as an apostle to make sure that Daddy God can give you those wisdom, elder knowledge to you. That means when we move in wisdom, then Daddy God can manifest, because now we have become, how they say, humble enough to hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying through the individual who have had that wisdom. Wisdom means that you had the experience. You've been there. You are doing that. Okay, even though you have done that, you are still doing that thing that Daddy has manifested through you, because you become humble, you become open, you are a vessel that glory can reign through through you. Now, yearning for the supernatural. The Bible has given us a scripture that says Psalm 63, 1 through 2. I'm going to read it in the Amplified. It says, "Oh God, you are my God. Earnestly will I seek you. My inner self thirsts of you. My flesh longs and is thankful for you in a dry and weary land where no water is. So I have looked upon you in the sanctuary to see your power and your glory." God is raising a generation up right now. I want you to know that as we begin to say that, yes, God, I want to, operate in the fullness. I want to learn how to use your manifested glory. I want your power to be strong upon me. This is going to cost you. I talk about that in the class that I talked about on the last day, and that was the actual word that the Lord gave me for the month of August, is that it's going to cost you to separate. Many of us don't want to separate. We don't want to cut our phones off. We don't want to not even be on here. We want to be on here. We want to say hi. We want to say what we're doing. We want to say how we're looking. We want to say what we, and all these things, we call it our Facebook family. I call you my YouTube family. I call you my Facebook family too. But there must be a balance. One of the problems is that the reason why the anointing and the glory and the manifested glory cannot fall on us, and we cannot be used to the fullest, is because we are given too much time here. This is the reason why I said I want to make sure that the time that I do spend here is all carved out, set apart. Is a word that he gave me was separate. It's set apart. So because when you're set apart, that means now you are moving in the glory of God to do all God has called you to do. That now, because you have set apart, he can manifest. He can pour fresh oil. He can strengthen. He can open your eyes when you've been blinded at through the carnal things of the world, through the exhaustion of the daily work of family and the things that you have to do, going to work and so on. He can give you supernatural strength that now you can manifest that beyond the church. You can do it on your job. You can do it in the library at Walmart. You can just open your mouth. I don't want to preach because when I get ready to go right now in my next area, I'm looking forward to the manifested glory. Because when I walk out my door, I'm in anticipation to see who can I impact just from the glory the rest of my life. I know that I am talking to somebody. The glory must be endowed through separation. I don't want to preach. I'm trying to talk here. And so he's raising up men and women. Yes, he is. And he wants you to wholeheartedly look to him for this power. Look to him for this glory. Not through your flesh, not through your title, not through the thing that, because you're connected to a certain church that you said is packing power. No. It's about you. It's about the power that rests in you. It's about you knowing who you are. We are way late casting the devil out. We're way late trying to understand that we have all power and all authority, but you got to understand the processing of the graces for the glory. I don't want to preach. It is a process. And so as I'm going on to make sure that you be able to understand this, my notes goes on to say here that we got to make sure that God gives us this yearning, this hunger. We got to have this deep yearning. The only way you're going to be able to do that is in his presence. Every morning when I get up, I try to find the time to just be quiet. We got, be quiet, to walk and pray and watch, to be very, very sensitive in the spirit. A person who lives alone, all you got to think of someone that's blind, somewhat the same thing. When someone is blind, their inner eyes can see. Well, because I can see in the natural, that means my eyes are charged in the atmospheres everywhere I go, in my own house. I'm trying to see, what do I need to discern now in the atmosphere that I'm about to enter when I leave here out of this house? What do I need to see when I go to the next region for where I'm going to go, to the Walmart, to wherever I'm going to go? So if this is what I am equipping myself to do, then I need to know that I must have already been endowed with this authority and that power. That means I'm confident in that. I'm not cocky. I'm confident in that, to know that the power and authority that I have manifested in me by Holy Spirit, I am packing the power so that when I leave here, glory has to manifest. I'm talking to somebody. And so we want to talk about what the scripture has said here. We need to yearn for the supernatural. And the only way you're going to be able to do this, is what I talked about in these 8 days that I have been sharing with you about the rain. We're not talking about water raining. though that all is encompassed in the glory. We're talking about the reigning authority, the reigning power, the reigning equipping that God has given all of us. But we can't get it to be endowed in the manifested glory part of it until we get prepared to let him download, to let him equip us, to let him strengthen us in his presence, in the quiet time. You're not going to be able to get that unless you're somewhat quiet. You know, when I was working, I worked for a college for 15 years. And I was in a place where I felt, I felt very excluded and not included because I was the only black person in there in my office where I worked. And being there and loving God, even though during that time I was challenged with being carnal versus being fully endowed, meaning that I've given the Lord all of my life. I had not done that yet. Let's say it like that. Being there, I had not given Abba all of my life yet. But I still knew God, but I didn't have an intimate relationship with God. So I was carnal. It means I was somewhat, let's just say, lukewarm in the world and a little bit in church. You know how a lot of us do. We still trying to see how I can still get with those people who are lukewarm because I don't want them to think I'm so holier than thou. So that's pretty much where I was. But one thing I did learn once I made a decision that I'm going to cross over and I'm going to give God all the glory. I don't want to shack up no more. I told my boyfriend at the time that I was with, I said, no, you're either going to marry me or leave me. I don't want this anymore. I want to give God all of my life, not just some anymore. I don't want to just go to church on Sunday and throw the Bible in the back seat and I'm moving on into the world again. No, I don't want that anymore. I remember taking that last puff on my cigarette. Somebody take that last puff and said, if you're really, really God, I need you to prove the supernatural to me. You know, I knew you were super and you're natural and you're powerful and you're all knowing because you did this. You kept me alive even after this. And so I believe that in this last day, he's looking for people who are hungry and thirsty and yearning. You see what David said? He said, so I looked up on you in the sanctuary in Psalm 63, 1, 2. He said, I looked upon you in the sanctuary to see your power and your glory. See, when I looked up one day and decided this here ain't worth it, I gotta try to be long suffering and loving and really flow in the fruit of the spirit that I'm learning in Sunday school. So I began to say, okay, I'm going to get up early in the morning and I'm going to exercise something I didn't even know that I was carrying after I gave God all my life, and that is the glory to cast out devils that surround me, to declare his glory, and that no weapon and no word spoken, no traps from my co-workers, none of those issues that the devil was trying me because I was the only black in there with presence all around me. None of that was going to work anymore. I took authority in the atmosphere where I work. I took authority around my desk. I build a camp Sunday, a camp of worship. I build a camp that every time they came to my cubicle at my desk, they couldn't come any closer. They stopped right there. It's like before they would come all in, be cocky, be bold. But when I gave God, I know I'm talking to somebody. When I gave God all the glory, when I told God, I need you to fight for me and show me how to fight with your power, with your authority, that demons would tremble because I have given you all of my life. Because I have made a decision that I don't want to play church no more. That I've made a decision that I've offered my entire life to you. I want you to move on my behalf. And I tell you, before it was all over, they couldn't come, they would not come any further than right at the entrance of my cubicle. They would stand there and say, Sandy, so-and-so need you to hand in so-and-so by so-and-so time. And I said, thank you. And that's one thing they would do before they would come and go, I hope you got this here because we got to have this by this here. I mean, just prejudice and rudeness and the whole nine. But Daddy God fought the battles for me. And I want you to know, not only from my peers to my boss. I mean, they tried everything. I mean, they falsified records, tried to fire me. But I was determined to stay there and fight. And I'm talking to you today. Look up for where the glory is coming and the warfare will be able to be, how they say, dispelled When Daddy God has rested the glory on your life, no weapon, no word, no trick, no witch, no warlock, and no ditch. Yes, that the witches and the warlocks deal, and those who are having conversational crucifixions about you, is going to prosper. You know what Daddy did? All those times and all those years, I was there for 15 years. As I really came to the knowledge of the truth of who I really was, and I began to pack that power. Before it was over, you know what they were doing? They were coming up to my cubicle with Kleenex, crying. Now here I am. I was their enemy, the only black in the office, the only one who made a decision. I'm not going to play your games anymore. I don't need you. I got Daddy God. I don't have to go to lunch with you. I don't have to have anything. I will go to lunch alone in my car and read the Bible. I'm telling you right now, hear what Daddy God did. Every one of them, I have no reason to play with you. Every one of them that was trying to fight against me was coming to me saying, can I talk to you outside? To God be the glory. I'm going through something with my husband. I know, you've been through violence and things like that. I need you to tell me, do you think I should stay or should I go? We've been married so and so years, and they be crying. I just need you to pray with me. Now, these are the people that will set traps for me. These are the people who will not even speak to me. You better hear me. These are people who will not include me in their lunch gatherings and their little parties. Around me, this will be going on. I'm in the same office. I was a black sheep in my office. I know I'm talking to somebody. But I'm telling you, this is what he did. He had them come to me to pray for them. And at first I looked like, really, God? You want me to pray for them after this girl done set me up? Really, God? You want me to talk to my boss about how to be kinder to me? I'm afraid I'm going to get fired. But Daddy God always set the atmosphere. He already set the stage when he's telling you to do something. You don't want to talk before. You heard the word that I gave you. You talk too much. You want to be quiet and pray that all power will be able to be endowed and rest upon you. So that the glory, we're talking about the glory today, so the glory of God will be able to shift the atmosphere. And that everything that the devil thought they were going to do to you, every trick that the enemy thought that they were going to be able to get you manipulated and try to con you, or set the ditch for you to fall into, they're going to eat the fruit of their own lips, and they're going to fall in their own traps. And that's exactly what she did. The boss went to the personnel director to tell them that I was insubordinate. And I promise you, I know this was God. The boss went to this woman. The woman that she went to was a white woman. Within the next week, the white woman resigned, trying to get me fired. The black woman don't even know me. Knew that I was only black in this office, called me to tell me would I go to lunch with her one day. And she shows me my file where this woman wrote all kind of lies about me that I was insubordinate so that I could be fired. And she said, Sandy, I'm going to tell you something. She said, I never seen anything like this. Lady just don't like you. She said, let me tell you something. She said, this is your file. You can take this and you can approach her, or you can do nothing, because I'm not going to even leave it in your file. I just want to let you know what's in there so you can see it. She said, if you want to get a copy of it. So long story short, what she told me to do is to be able to sit down and tell her, when God leads, that I'm on to what you're trying to do here. And I promise you, when God gave me the okay to talk to this woman, that I was aware that she didn't like me, that she wanted me to go. Do you know that lady started crying? Now, this is somebody that plays the piano in her church. This is somebody that teaches Sunday school on Sunday, that's practicing witchcraft with me. And all I'm doing is being humble. All I'm doing is doing my work. And all I'm doing is walking in the authority, meaning that I'm not afraid of you, but I respect you. I am humbled that you are my boss. I'm not afraid of you. You're not God. One thing I do know is when I begin to pray in that room and pray with these that tried to set traps for me, I'm telling you, you're talking too much, you're sharing too much information, and worst of all, you're not moving in the power and the glory of God that He's given us all who are blood bought, who are ready to say, yes, Lord, here I am. Yes to your will, yes to your way, even when it hurt us. How they say you got to suffer to be quiet. Even when it hurt and you really want to read them their rights, you better be quiet. You better watch the devil. You better get prepared to know that demons are trembling at your presence. Demons are trembling to figure out what are you about to do. Why? Because you're not telling them. You're only walking in the glory, in the authority, and the power that God has invested in you. I pray that you'll join me next week. I won't be on here 30 minutes, though. I pray you'll be on time. Again, I'm going to try my very, very best to be on here around about between 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock. And trust me, I'm going to start trying to send a flyer out to confirm the time a little bit later on when I'll be here on Thursdays. But I want to show the devil it ain't going to work. He tried his best to keep me getting on here with all kind of things to interrupt. But I said, it ain't going to work because I am going to get on there somehow, sometime, and Daddy God must and will be glorified. I pray that you have been blessed. I pray that you have any questions, any comments. Please hit me up on Facebook at Sandy Murphy. It's not under doctor, it's under Sandy Murphy. And most importantly, that you give me some type of subscription won't hurt to let me know or friend me. Just want to make sure you stay connected. That's all. Today I'm in the classroom doing the classroom in the fasting group, and so sometimes I may be in the classroom group, or I may be on the whole woman group, or I may be in my church group. I've got several different groups, or my whole woman books group. Wherever I'm led to get on live in one of those groups, that's where I'll be. So I won't be here all the time. But one place I will be during that time on Thursdays will be right here on Sessions to Real. That's my Facebook channel. Sessions, the number 2, Real. Go on there, click on there, and make sure you click that bell so you know when I am here. I appreciate you so much for joining me. Remember, I'm also going to come back on Sundays. Remember, I used to do what's called Selah Sunday. And so I'll be doing Selah Sunday, but it's only going to be on Sunday nights, okay? Which means I'll be doing the Sunday night light for my Selah. It used to be Sunday night light. But I'll be doing my same Sunday night light Selah on Sunday nights around 9 p.m. here on Facebook and on my YouTube channel. I'm only going to do that those 2 days. Thursdays, I'll be doing the classrooms of parachurch. We got to make sure we understand parachurch. And then I'll come back and do my Sunday Night Light, which will be on both channels, both networks as well. And anyway, I'll be sending the links everywhere. I pray this has been a blessing to you. God bless you for being here with me today. And please remember, we walk in all power, all authority. And we're way late. You got to get better. You got to get all power and authority. We're going to be talking about the power gifts and everything else. And all those kind of teachings on here. So you know you're not a prophet. You may be walking in the word of wisdom. You know, you need to understand the spirit of might and understanding and administration and these gifts. You know, you need to understand where you're flowing at. So you can make sure that God will use you in that time for that particular region, or per person, so that you can exercise with your mouth that power and that authority to bring the glory down, the reigning glory, that's REIGN, that packs all power because it is kingdom authority, so that demons would tremble and be cast out in no other name but Jesus. And it is so for you today. Well, who's we got here? Hi, Derek. I pray you're doing all right. I pray that God will bless you. See you later. Gotta go. Please share this link and our video. Love you. See you later. Get y'all off here. Pray y'all share. Bye-bye.